I do mean Wednesday. Wednesday. School has started.
Yep.
High school sports is begin.
Yep.
Everybody kicked off the season either Sunday night or Monday morning. Folks, it's football season. And I'm not talking about soccer. I'm talking about the real football.
Real football.
Real football where you got to put pads on. You can knock the out of somebody.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
Because we're going to keep it 100. Because today we get to talk about 5A football.
5A.
To me, I feel like 5A is the toughest district of all. Not taking nothing from 6A, but 5A got some boys in there. Some big boys. And, hey, they coming to play.
Yeah.
From 1 to 10, anybody can win it. I'm keeping it 100. What's going on, Big RT?
Not a whole lot, man. I'm just enjoying the last part of this summer. And like you said, school started today. Son's a senior. This is it.
This is it.
Last ride for me, man.
Last ride like a roller coaster.
From now anyway.
Yeah, that's it. What's up, Big E?
Oh, not much. Same thing. Into the summer.
Into the summer.
Just working, trying to make this money before starting to go to school, and then they cut my hours. So that's what I've been up to.
Well, today's another special day. Miss Sherman, she celebrates another birthday. She turns 21 again.
That's right. I like them young.
Yeah. So happy birthday to Miss Sherman. Like I said, we got talk a little bit of football. We're going to talk about a little recap of last week, a little ladies basketball. We had Zoe and Jada on the show last week. It didn't finish the way we wanted. We finished top 4 out of 34 teams, but I tell you, it was some good basketball. I saw my young lady do some good things and she did some bad things. I keep it 100. I tell you, we started off the game pretty good on Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
we went against Phenom, one of the teams that beat us earlier year, and we was up by 16 on them. Ended up winning by 10. I think she dropped 13 that game.
Wow.
She started the game off probably the first 8 to 9 points. Second half, they kind of controlled her, got her under control, but she had a couple good steals, and she shot the ball real well. In some of the games, the game that we got to, Saturday night in the semifinals, man, we just struggled, man. The lid was tight over at Carl Albert, man.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't hit a bucket, man. The future, the team that beat us, ended up winning it all. A great game, like I said, it's basketball, at the age of, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. Sometimes these girls going to step up, sometimes they're not. But a big shout out to Coach Will and Coach Gino for getting these girls that far. The week before we went down and won the Iowa Omaha Nationals, came home, closer to home, my backyard.
Right.
They had to travel a little bit to my city, which is good, which is cool. But my mom got a chance to go watch her play, and so it was a good time. Like I said, but now it's football season, man. Everybody start practice, so it's time to get busy because here in 2 weeks we're gonna be talking about some big matchups. We got Dell City and Choctaw. You'll have Coweta and Carl Albert. I think this Saturday morning. I don't know about RT. I know his birthday's coming up, but I think me and E's gonna go over and do Harris Media Day. We've been invited to go do that, and I think that's pretty cool. That people's reaching out to us, and folks, we're just trying to turn this show to another notch, man. We're trying to turn that amp up. We're fixing to make us a new Facebook page, and we're gonna get our our Twitter page is still hot, and then we're gonna get our new Instagram. I think we changed the name on it to what?
Keep it 100 Oklahoma Sports.
And folks, we're trying to change our name a little bit. RT says it sounds kind of corny, but we've been saying it for the last 2 to 3 years. But we're trying to branch off not just Oklahoma high school sports, but we're trying to branch off to all the sports. Having players from different states come on, and I think only way we can enhance our game and make our game stronger is by doing that because people kind of know we are. It's funny because, I had some coaches reach out to me. We'll have a young man from Bigsby. I know 918 do their thing, but 405 is going to reach into 918's backyard and try to pull some of their players over. We'll have one of Bigsby's, Mr. Williams, defensive back. He's going to come on next week and join us. I've kind of tweeted back and forth, and thank you, Coach Cole, reaching out and telling us a little bit about him. A kid is underrated, trying to get his name out there. Last year he played with a cast on, had 2 interceptions. 14 breakups, but I think he's looking to get his name out there and been on the state championship team, that many state championship teams, and now moving up to Big 6A. Yeah. He's going to see better competition week in and week out.
They get that game on ESPN too.
Woo-wee. So he better put on the show.
Right.
He better put on the show. Showtime.
You under the radar. It's time to let them know.
And let them know who you are.
at.
That's it. That's it. But, folks, I'm excited, like I said, about the day. We get to talk 5A, and this man sitting right to me to the right, man, he knows 5A.
I don't know it all.
He knows a lot of 5A.
I really don't.
Yes, he do.
I'm just a fan because of my kid. That's
it.
it.
Hey, he knows his sports, man. When you wrote for the Daily Oklahoma, and
that was years ago.
It doesn't matter. Hey, time out. You still know how to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Okay, then. It's like riding a bike.
With no hands.
With no hands. There you go. But and he'll jump in. I know we want to jump in and talk.
Yeah.
We want to talk about that little OU, what's going down at Boomer Shooter Land. A guy that I went to school with and played with, for a couple of years at Midwest City. Fortunately, he resigned as a assistant coach. I know Gundy for a while. I've known Mike and Kel. It's a sad day because a guy that's has been at Oklahoma since 1991, and he went off to UAB for a little bit and came back home and been with Oklahoma since, and been with Stoops and a lot of the other coaches. So he's been here. Yeah. He's been through a few coaches, and unfortunately, what happened, reading the iPad. I don't know the whole story. I know Big E would dig into that, but our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family because, at the end of the day, is it racism? No. And think about it now. If you say the wrong thing, you can get caught up in
no matter what it is.
No matter what, and it's just like
they taking certain things out of school.
Yeah.
And you say certain words, you're in trouble.
So, Gundy's going to bounce back, man. The guy he's probably one of the best recruiters that was on that staff. So, I know somebody will pick him up. He might take a few years off. His brother's right down the street. He can go down there and help him, with his recruiting and being a coach. So he'll bounce back. Somebody's going to go get him. He can end up with Stoops down there, where he's at. So, Gundy's going to be in good shape. But, I know a lot of people has been tweeting out and saying, what they feel about him. I know people's talking about the player too. I got mixed emotions on that because at the end of the day, whatever's on that player's iPad is his business. So
right.
People say he should get in player too. But every rap song and every song these days got that N word in it. So kids are saying it left and right.
It was though.
I don't know that. So
they haven't confirmed, but it's
we don't
so what do you think? So what do you think he said then?
I'm not gonna make any assumptions because that's a touchy subject for all.
Yes, yes.
No matter who it is, but for someone to be there that long and decides to step down, whether it was by choice or not, that's a big impact on everyone. And as you've seen on Twitter, so many are supporting him, and others see it the other way. But I'm one of those that if I wasn't there and I don't know all the facts,
yes sir,
I just kind of sit back and hope the best for all.
Yeah, like I said, it's a sad deal, but I think he'll bounce back. The guy's been there for many, many years. I'm pretty sure his 401k and pension plan is pretty nice,
He doesn't even have to work. How about just enjoy life?
That's it. Enjoy life. Enjoy your family and hit the beaches and the cruises, wherever you want to go. I know RT will go on a cruise with him.
Man, let's go kick it, Kel. Let's get it.
Let's go get it. But like I said, he'll bounce back, though. But like I said, man, you got to watch what you say. I tell that all the time, kind of like the young man, Anthony Ferrari over at Oklahoma State, was let go from the team. And I tell you, I got mixed emotions on that too. I've been around Ferrari. My boys wrestled with him on Team Texas when he was up there in Texas. Ferrari's a good kid. The allegations they got against him, man, I hope they're not true because it makes me look at him totally different because me having 3 daughters and a granddaughter, and the things they said he did to that young lady, man, I'm just telling you, man, my stomach crunched because
3 sides of the story, his side, her side, and the truth.
Yeah, so hope everything comes out and everything gets worked out. I did hear she dropped the I think the VPO charges against them, so that's a good sign and moving in the right direction. But folks, what we do, we keep it real here. We keep it 100 because we bring in stuff from all different sides of the states, corners, or whatever we got to do. But we're going to jump into this 5A football. E, you got anything else before we get jumping?
No, let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it, though.
Hey,
let's get into it. Let's dive deep.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
So coming in at number 1, Class 5A in Oklahoma, is McAllister. They were last year's runner-up in Class 5A, losing to Collinsville. They lost a few key players due to graduation, but they have a few more returning, including Sooners, Eric McCarty, the running back, and also plays DB a little bit. But on defense, they have 5 returning starters.
Ooh-wee. So you're telling me right now, They lost a little bit on offense, but defense, man, they still going to be salty. So if you can go out and replace some of those starters on offense, they got a chance to make it back to the state championship. Where they lost to Collinsville, that Carl Albert got beat by Collinsville. They easily could have won state championship, you know. So I know Coach Dunn and them boys. I know
it's all right. Go ahead and get into it.
I know Coach Dunn and them guys is ready because I know he's done. Hey, they next. So I'm ready to talk about them. But I'm just telling you though, McAllister is a team that you got to watch out for.
You do.
This running back, you know, and he plays. So does he play linebacker? Or does he play linebacker? Safety. So okay, so he's a big young man though. Yep. He can run downhill. So I tell you, man, it's gonna be exciting to watch them. And don't Dell City play them this year?
Yeah, September 30th.
That's September 30th. Coach Jones, you better get ready. Man. Hey, you dealing with a bulldog right there. Yeah. That boy can go though. I'm gonna tell you, that running back can go. But
on defense, they normally go with the 3-man front. That'll be led by the Shumway brothers.
Okay.
Garrett and Jaden, and also Zach Rogers.
Okay.
I think they will have a really good chance to make it back to the championship. Definitely semis. It all depends on how it shakes out. Like you said, they got Dell City, I believe, September 30th. That should be a big game, man. That right there.
That probably for district championship.
Right. That's
home field advantage.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you, man. I tell you what I like about this football season, RT.
What you like about it, Tony?
Every week you got a big game.
Yeah.
It ain't like you got a bunch of cupcakes. I mean, a lot of these guys just went out and said, hey, we're going to play the big boys. We ain't got to go down to Texas.
Right.
We ain't got to go down to Arkansas.
Right.
We got big boys in our backyard now.
Yeah.
Hey, they might be 5A, they might be 4A, they might be 6A big or 6A small, but we got some guys that can go right here. So it's exciting. And we got some big time players.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, on this 5A list, there's some guys that can go.
Yes.
Can go. Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
They can go.
They can go.
If you ain't heard me, you better hear me. I'm preaching today.
I'm too near you not to hear you.
Oh, hey, I'm fired up, man.
You
Football
fired
is
up?
here.
Well, you was talking about good matchups week after week. So that leads us to Carl Albert coming in at number 2.
Carl Albert coming in at number 2. I'll tell you right now. Oh, you want me to get some of this?
But you can get. Well, let me say this first.
Let you say
when I was looking at their schedule,
yes, sir.
And of the teams that's in the top 10, Carl Albert plays 4 of them.
No,
they not running.
They ain't running.
They getting that experience throughout the year, win, lose, or draw, whatever it may be. They will be ready for the playoffs.
Let me speak on this real quick.
Go ahead.
Coach Don is coming. This is his second year, right?
Second.
Hey, he ain't scared. He's coached down in Texas.
Right.
He had Dell City.
Right.
You know, so he knows athletes, and he's brought some other coaches in.
Yes, he
you know,
did.
For a while, Carl Albert's kind of locked at the arm.
Right.
They only had certain coaches.
Right.
But Coach Don said, let me unlock and let's add some more. Let me add some more to it.
Sprinkle
bring a little salt, pepper into it. I like it, Coach D. I like what you're doing. But I tell you what they're going to do over there at Dell City. I mean, over at Carl Albert. Hey, I know he's confident. I saw him Saturday night at the game. I said, how y'all going to be? We're going to be good. And that's what I like about Coach Dunn. Coach Dunn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he know they're going to be good. Yeah. Because, you know, if you're kind of worried about it, you don't talk about it. But when you know you got something good, you know, when you go get that new car, you go wash it up and you clean it up.
Right.
He know he got a new washed up car. It's his second year. And guess what about Carl Albert? They used to being in the state championship. They used to playing for the ship.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And guess what? They didn't get to play in the ship last year. They came up short.
That was the first time in 6 years that Carl Albert or McGinnis was not in the championship.
And I tell you right now, they're building for the future. They're building for the future. Big time. I talked to a dad today, man. He called me today. Mr. Jared McClure, his boy's over there. He was over at Choctaw.
Yeah.
Took him over to CA.
Okay.
And he was a good ball player. Him and his brothers, they used to be at Dell City. And he said, Carl Albert's freshman team.
Oh, yeah, they loaded.
45 kids.
Loaded.
45 kids on a freshman team.
Yeah.
That's more than some of the kids they had over at PC West. Sorry, PC West, but they was carrying like 20. They ain't having enough to.
Hey, the 8th grade squad too.
They loaded.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's what Collier.
There you go.
The next great quarterback, huh?
Several of the coaches got kids on that team.
Coach Johnson got a QB. I can't wait for that battle.
Ooh
wee! I can't wait for them battles. But I'll tell you, let's get back into this.
All right. Starting out with Carl Albert as number 2, coming in number 2. They came up short last year against the state champions, Collinsville.
Yes, sir.
I believe they lost by a touchdown or so or whatever. So they're back in the hunt. Mm-hmm. And how are they going to get there?
Well, yeah, they're going to be led by that QB.
That QB, your player of the year last year.
My player of the year, and I'll tell you, folks, he probably get it this year because he worked hard over the summer throwing that ball. A lot of people hate on Reed DeQuazy, but the kid got the last name DeQuazy. The name goes long.
That means something.
It means something here in Midwest City. In OU, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the kid will go play Division I QB, but the kid can go play Division I defensive back. The kid's an athlete. The kid can jump out of a gym. The kid
basketball and track.
Basketball and track. I'm telling you, he's worked on his passing game. I know he's known that, hey, the backup quarterback, Cash, congratulations to him receiving a D1 offer to go play baseball. But, hey, I'm telling you right now, if I'm Cash mom and dad, I might say, hey, baby, let's sit this down and let's just work on that curveball. Let's work on that changeup.
Cash can sling that ball.
He can sling the ball, but guess what?
What's that?
Reed said I can sling it now, too.
Oh, definitely.
Because you look at his yards. What did he end up? He ended up with 2,000 yards.
Passing.
And this guy wasn't supposed to be a passer.
Rushed for over 700. Now he got a year of experience.
He got a year of experience.
That's a good problem to have. You got two good quarterbacks.
You got two, and they got a couple in the waiting coming up. So I'll tell you right now. But hey, not does Reed only does he have a good guy to hand it off to, but he got X-Rob, a kid that had over 700 yards, 12 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And he was behind Buddy. A 3-year, 4-year starter.
Yeah.
So now that they're handing over the keys to him and say, hey, this is your job to take us to a state championship.
Man, he's bigger than Bazell and faster.
Hey, and he can play linebacker.
He can go. He can come downhill. But there's another good player on the team. Iowa State commit, Tayshaun James.
Wait, time out, E. I mean, talking about big RT. You didn't even talk about that sophomore.
You talking about the receiver?
The receiver, 6'4".
Trey Washington. We're going to get to him.
Okay.
You know
I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah. So,
hey, y'all better catch this show.
Reed has several options. You got Trey Washington, sophomore, already got the body of D1. I believe that he will start getting offers towards the end of this year.
Yes, sir.
And then Tayshaun, of course, he's more of a defensive player, but he steps up big time on the offensive side of the ball as well. And then you got the tight end. Caleb Cornell.
Hey, just came from nowhere.
He got many options. You got X-Rod at running back. You got Tayshaun and Trey at receiver, and then you got Caleb at tight end.
Yeah.
It'll keep the defenses honest.
Keep them honest, but you said you got a young freshman that came up, sophomore receiver. You told me a couple weeks about that.
I forgot Tristan or I forgot his name. He's a new kid, and I haven't really been around him. But yeah, they got several weapons.
Hey, I tell you what, they might have struggled at last year on that offensive line, but I think this year
that Tanner Easton.
Hey, I tell you right now, man. Norman is a big young man. Was at Choctaw, now he's over at CA, starting for them. And it just tells you right now what they're doing at Carl Albert. Kids are not moving out of there now; they're going to stay there because what you're doing over there, man. Having Coach Dunn has got you on the Twitter page, put you in 7-on-7. Put you out there in team camp. Things they didn't do. Not taking nothing from Coach Corley and Rose, but Coach Dunn's kind of that new wave.
Evolving.
Yeah. He's kind of like Puff Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're putting that remix, putting all them new beats together.
Take that.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because those guys are old school. Not taking nothing from them, because Coach Evans is like that. Those were guys who wore those short bike shorts and them tune socks, with the two stripes here. That's what those guys were. Coach Dunn's all about, hey, man, I'm going to put this on the map, get your name out there, because he knows he coached in Texas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He knows
and he knows what it takes, and he knows what it's going to take to win a state championship. Is it going to be given to him? No.
Not at all.
But I tell you, though, man, you talk about that offense, but you got to talk about that defense, too, though.
Man.
Who they got on that deep?
Like I said, you got Tayshaun. Well, I call him Hitman. He keeps the stick. He sleeps with the hit stick at the house.
Because he'll come hit you.
Man, he come hit you when you get back to your car, the airbag is out. Yeah. He'll come downhill, but there's other players on the team that would be playing both sides of the ball. Like we said, Trey Washington. And then you have a few others that playing linebacker like X-Rob. Also Cody Longstreet, Easton Harless. You have a few more. I believe at weak safety, you got Chansey. And then hopefully if my boy can stay healthy, he'll be back.
And let's talk about him real quick. Because the kid played as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I know they want him to play running back. Because he's a good running back. His brother was a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we're at Carl Albert's gym. And guess what? The first thing he always says, there's our team! And that's good to look on the wall and see your son on as an all-stater.
Yeah.
My daughter's up on top as an all-state cheerleader. So,
right.
But I tell you what, having Sherman back, because he's another kid to come knock that out of you. Make sure you bleep that. Give us a good bleep. But I'm saying he'll come knock you. And last year, he was bit by getting hurt in preseason. Yeah. Came back at the end of the year. Didn't really get a chance to get in the game. So I know he got a lot to prove. I know the coaches, they might not say that they're excited about having him back, but you're excited about having a guy like that back because, one, he's a leader. One, he'll come hit you. Right. And you can play him on special teams. You can play him on, defense. And I know they really love to have him on offense. But, hey, I think he's going to help them more on defense, and that makes that defense stronger. Then you add Reed DeQuazy to that defense too. Plus with the other DBs they got, like you said, you talk about Tayshaun, the Iowa State commit. Yeah. Hey, they're loaded, and I tell you, man, it's going to be. We'll get more into this. I think it's going to be like a 4-man race, maybe a 5-man race who's going to win the state championship. Yeah. But I think Carl Albert's put themselves in the driver's seat to get there. I know Coach Jones ain't going to like to hear me say that. I got your helmet up here. But I think Carl Albert, what Carl Albert has that Del City don't have, I think they both got great athlete. Carl Albert Del City ain't got a quarterback coming back.
Yeah,
you got to have somebody that can.
Get to that because what is it?
We got George and you got
Dede and Cinco.
Yeah, we'll get to him. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you got a guy that's already put up 2,000 yards, ran for over 700 yards, and plus you got a tailback, and they lost their tailback too, even though they got Tango. We'll get into that, but I'm just saying, hey, you got some guys. McAllister, they're not going, hey, when you get to the state championship, man, the next thing you talking about on your T-shirt is get back.
Right.
Get back. They want to get back. And like I said, that Del City game and McAllister game is going to be a salty game. Would you say what it is at
September 30th?
September 30th. That's going to be a big, that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
That's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
You better be prepared. But, hey, some of these teams got some tough matchups to get to, though.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
So coming in at number 3 is Bishop McGuinness. Like I said, last year was the first time in about 6 years that neither McGuinness or Carl Albert was in the championship. They had a lot of good games, close games. I believe even with Carl Albert, they went to overtime. They had like 3 games that went into overtime. But on offense, they'd be led by one of the top running backs in the state.
But does he got any offers?
I've not seen.
I looked on his Twitter page today. I haven't seen anything. Wow. But have you seen anything, Big E?
I have not.
And he's one of the best backs in the state. So that just tells you right there, how loaded Oklahoma is in backs because the kid from McAllister that's running back and safety. And I don't know because Taffy kind of got banged up last year and people want to see what type of back he is because, McGuinness got that train set to go to Stillwater, because they've got a back, their last back that they came out
Nick.
of Nick. They got him up for, was one of the best running backs in the nation. So it just tells you got the pipeline from McGuinness to OSU that hey, and he's a pretty good back. But hey, he's gonna have a little bit of competition back there with him this year, though.
Yeah, the Westmore transfer.
So how'd you let that kid get away?
Talk to Bird. Last name Bird, but Bird is a better defensive player.
Okay.
So he'll have a strong presence on defense, and he'll have the support of both. I think it's Zane and Marcus.
Yeah.
They're also good defensive players as well. So, like I said, man, that district with Carl Albert, McGuinness, Guthrie,
that's loaded.
Yeah.
Hey, you lose one or two, man. You might not even get in.
Yeah.
Or you're going to the number one's house in the first round, so you got to take care of business because coming in at number 4 is who?
Collinsville,
state champion.
I think they're kind of ranked a little too high because they lost about 22 seniors.
You lose 22 seniors and they're ranked at number 4, but you got Del City down there. Woo!
Right.
Woo.
Del City got about 3 or 4 D1 players.
D1 players. And just got another one got an offer.
Man.
Darnell Thomas, little brother
of Kanija.
Kanija.
Yeah.
So woo! We'll get to them in a minute.
So number coming in right after Collinsville is Guthrie. Now this is the team that I believe is slept on.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, they took Carl Albert to a battle.
Hey! Reed had to come out with a little bit of what?
Man.
CA Magic.
Everything.
Magic. I was at that game.
Yeah. So it was a couple of OSU coaches there as well watching a few.
Yes, sir.
But in addition to that, so they took Carl Albert to overtime, and then they beat Bishop McGuinness by 1 point. And then they lost to McAllister in the first round of playoffs, only by 6 at the end of the game.
And they was winning the game.
Right.
Winning the game.
So this is why I think Guthrie is the team that slept on. They got a nice running back, Isaiah Hammonds, and then the quarterback is Hayden Calvert.
Yep.
And then on the defense side of the ball, they got about 7 returning starters.
Wow. So when you can bring that many returning starters back that already on defense, that already knows what coach is thinking just like coach, line up in the right position, because that's what happens on defense a lot of time. They get out of position. That's how you get a blown play. A team can get a cheap touchdown. Right. So you got 7 guys that's coming back. So you ought to, and I'm pretty sure they got some guys that probably played a little bit. So all you got to do is kind of clip them on and get it going. So you're right about Guthrie. That's a team that, Guthrie's always one of those teams too. I call it like an Air Force base. You know why?
Why?
Because you got Langston right there. because you never know who's going to move in, whose little brother's going to come with them to go to Langston.
Right.
So, hey, they always sneak a couple kids you don't know nothing about because, hey, you know nothing about this kid. So this kid comes to play college ball here, but he brings his little brother or cousin with him to come live with him because, hey, they might have a tough life. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I'm going to bring you down here. And Guthrie is known for his football. Good little town, man.
I love that stadium.
Yeah. I like it too.
Yeah.
You know, you go. It's kind of like the Texas, the Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. Because you go, have Guthrie, then have CA or whatever, whoever's playing. So the little grass field still. So they're old school. So I mean, I tell you though, Guthrie's a team you can't sleep on, folks. I'm just telling you can't sleep on them, and he's right about them.
So that brings us to number 6,
Del City.
Hey, Coach Jones.
Hey, Coach Jones, second year head coach. I mean, coming back, man. That was what it's so funny because him and Dunn know a lot about each other because they coached many years together.
Right.
When Dunn got the Carl Albert job, Jones ended up getting the Del City job, and he's done a great job. They both have done a great job.
Yep.
I just tell you the difference between the two is that when people are looking to move in, people say, "Man, I'm gonna go to Carl Albert," because I mean a little bit. I'm keeping it 100. That's what this show is.
Right.
A little bit nicer neighborhood. My daughter just started CA middle school, and me, I'm all about that black and gold. But since I've been doing the show, I've kind of switched over. And he called me a homer earlier because I was gonna wear a Del City shirt, and he got on me, so I didn't. But I tell you, Del City, they got some players.
Definitely,
they got some players, and they open up against Choctaw.
That's a game we wanted to see last year.
Game we wanted to see last year.
We gonna bet a chicken sandwich on this. Where we at?
I'm going.
I'm cool with that.
Who you going with?
I gotta go with my guys, my alma mater.
Boy,
Gold Standard.
I got to. Can't pick against them.
Boy,
I don't know, man. I think Jaden alone is gonna. Because Choctaw.
I mean,
not going in live.
Del City
they lost their offensive line.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you got one returning starter. One returning starter.
Yeah.
I mean, one returning starter, man. That's what you got over there. And his game is week 1. So you got 2 weeks to prepare for Jaden Foreman and the rest of that crew. And they lost their best player to IMG and David Stone. So that tells you right there, you got guys stepping up. I ain't got a chance.
What about Tango?
John Marshall.
The linebacker.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna keep it 100. When you got a name like Tango,
it's time to Tango.
Sorry about my French, but you gotta be a badass.
Yeah.
You walk around like Tango.
Shut your mouth.
Hey, that's some good stuff. Tango reminds me of a guy that has a shag.
Yeah. Shaq. In other words, that's a mullet.
A mullet.
Okay.
It's a black man's mullet, keeping it 100. But, I mean, a name like Tango, you got to be a bad cat.
Yeah.
Man. So, the John Marshall transfer, he comes over, man, to Del City. They lost their good running back, the 2 backs they had last year, and Coach Jones ain't missing a beat. He's like, hey, I'm going to do it right, did it legit. The kid moves in with his mom. So, I just tell you right now, the biggest thing that Del City's going to have to figure out who they're going to go with at QB. Is it going to be, George, or is it going to be, Goodwin, and Day? So I think they both can go. We had them both on this show.
Yep.
I think they compromised each other, saying, hey, whoever don't get it, we're going to go help the other guy at a different position. But I think he has enough on offense, man. I mean, he has some pretty good receivers, and like I said, you got Foreman that can play tight end. You also have
you got the big tackle, Daryl Thomas, the younger brother of Nigel, that's going to help him on that line.
He's going to help him on that offensive line.
Had to protect
hey, I tell you right now, though, he's going to want to throw the ball around last year. He was so upset about what happened last year, losing in the first round. And I'm telling you right now, he is itchy. He's itching to get back on that film, man. He's been watching film. I mean, he called me the other night talking about watching film. My boys are there, and he was like, man, they didn't use your boy enough. I said, Coach, don't even get started on that shit. That shit back in, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm past that stage. But I tell you, though.
Is that why you put on there? It's politics?
Yeah. I will say, I'm going to keep it 100. Choctaw never played politics with my kids because they started as sophomores, man. And I told Corbin from the get-go, I don't want to be on the touchdown club because I don't want people thinking my kid's playing. Because, he said, no, your boy's going to play. And they proved himself. Gabe was an undersized, but he proved himself as a sophomore. Day was a, decent size. Too bad. The thing with Day, he just never grew. So they
definitely deserve their spot for sure.
Yeah. So it was nothing given to him. So But we can talk about politics in a minute. But I still want to get into Del City.
Okay.
I think Del City, you got 3 or 4 guys, and you got some other guys that's going to get offers.
Right.
I mean, this ain't just stopping at these 3 or 4 guys. I mean, he got some guys that can go. He got some good receivers, and Swede as a good running back and a good DB, and Day-Day's probably going to play both sides of the ball. If he's not playing quarterback, he's going to play that corner. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got some kids that's been there and they're hungry. When you get beat in the first round of playoffs, man, and you got this much talent coming back,
right.
I mean, the best thing about this team is that they don't have David Stone because, man, I mean, they're loaded up front. He said this is the biggest team he's ever had. And so, saying that, it just tells you what they're at. And you got to think, these guys were in 6A small. Now they're coming down to 5A, and they're going to be bigger than most teams because they're going to be bigger and faster. If he can control his run game and his pass game, I just tell you, they're going to control the game. I kind of said the Choctaw Del City game, I thought it might be a high-scoring game, but I think Del City's defense can slow down still, and still got a lot of weapons coming in the game, but I think Del City can slow him down because if you can contain Steele and not let him get loose and do some of his magical plays,
right.
You got a chance to contain them because I think Del City's, Choctaw, I'm all over the place. I think Choctaw's going to give up points because they got a bunch of guys coming, not coming back, but they got a bunch of guys that are first-year starters. And going against somebody like Del City that's hungry and snotty and they play smash mouth football and they played in 6A already, they're not going to back down from body. And they had some big dog fights last year. So I see, like I said, I know Foreman's going to try to go out and Kanaja both going to try to go out and win the state championship. When we get to the end of the show, I'll pick my state champion.
Okay. So coming in at number 7, that's them Bombers.
Bombers, I think they got a new offensive coordinator. You still got the QB that's before your starter. I think the new offensive coordinator, I think he comes in from Ballersville. I know Coach Thomas talked highly of him. Middle City's always going to be good at Middle City because, they got some players. You got DJ Irvin.
Is this his 4th year as starter?
His 4th year as a starter, and so,
he got a few offers too.
Yeah, he got a bunch of the military offers, so it just tells you what kind of athlete he is. Not just only a good athlete, but just a smart athlete. Because to get into military schools, you got to have a great ACT score. So, smart young man. His 4th year, maybe his 2nd or 3rd offensive coordinator. That might be the biggest hiccup. They keep changing the offense, but I think he'll be able to do some big things. I don't think they got some of the names they've had before, and like the Redmond and some of the kids they had before, the brothers that played running back for a while. I just think they're gonna be Mirror City. They're always gonna have great athletes, but I don't know if they have enough to contend it, with these other big boys, McAllister, Del City, Carl Albert and Mirror City play each other like week 2 or week 3. That'd be a good game. I tell you, Carl Albert got a tough road, man. They got Coweta. You got Mirror City, then you turn around and play Muskogee, and everybody's telling me right now. I had a coach call me the other night and tell me, "Hey, Muskogee's a dark horse in 6A small." They said they got some players.
They got a running back. They got that same running back from last year, man.
They said they got some.
Do not stop moving.
Hey, he sent me a text and he said, "Tony, you sleeping on Muskogee?" And I said, "What?" He said, We'll find out how good they are here in another week when we scrimmage them." Yeah. He said, "But man, if they can get some offensive line play, they're gonna be dangerous, man. And they're always fast, man. So you can't sleep on Muskogee, in 6A. But I tell you, Carl Albert's gonna get to see him firsthand. And Mill City, like I said, I think Mill City. I think if they get in the playoff, they're gonna be a 3rd or 4th seed. It's gonna be hard to win a conference because I win a district, and I don't know what district they're in. You might look that up real quick, but I don't know who's all in their district. But they graduated 8 starters on defense. Man, that's tough. So you're asking a bunch of young guys, and granted it's 5A, but you're asking a bunch of young guys, to step up and do big things. So
right.
Do they have any big names on defense?
I'm not familiar with them, but Khalik and I think his last name is Carter.
Yeah.
I believe those two would be a big help on defense, and then going back to offense with DJ. Will and Jamarion Hamilton, those 2 guys will help him back there too. So I think they'll be decent, but as you know, Midwest City has struggled the last couple of years, and this year 5A is loaded.
I tell you, I think this is the toughest district out of all of them, man, because you're looking at a 5A, teams that was in 6A small that dropped down. Before it used to be the Carl Albert and Deer Creek. I mean, not called Deer Creek, but Carl Albert and Bishop McGinnis show to get to the finals.
Right.
One of these teams ain't gonna get there.
Man, and speaking of that, what I like about it, again, shout out to the AD Collier for making sure that all Middale schools were in a different district.
Yep.
I would love to see all of them make it to the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And it would be just amazing if we had 2 Middale teams in the state championship.
I got to ask you this question. So you said, great job, Collier. But Collier is the AD of all 3 schools.
Right.
But his kids go to Carl Albert.
Well, he can't, what, how many kids does he have? 3? He want to send one to each one?
I'm not saying that. This is keeping 100. So I'm saying, let me finish.
So I see what you're saying. He's a Midwest City Bomber state championship, heck of a quarterback.
Last quarterback that went on this side of the state.
You know what I mean? And then you got Dale City, and then you got Carl Albert.
So tell me this, though. I'm just, hey, Andy, I'm throwing this out to you, baby, because I love you. I'm keeping it 100. That's what I do here. If I didn't pick on you guys a little bit, they'll call me a homer. My baby girl just just went over to CA. You know me, I'm still going to wear me a black and red T-shirt.
So ask yourself the same question. Midwest City graduate? Your other kids went to Choctaw. You live in Choctaw.
My son went to Choctaw because of
Z
what?
going to Carl Albert right now.
Because she went to Soldier Creek. I mean, if you ask Z,
that's the reason?
she went to Soldier
But
Creek.
you live closer.
I would never send my kid to that one school.
You welcome, Collier. I got you.
No, I'm asking you. I got one thing to say because we talked about Collier. I'm gonna move back up a little bit because Collier's son is gonna probably be the next great quarterback on this side of the state, right?
The 8th grader.
The 8th grader.
Yeah, he's training pretty good.
Training pretty good.
You actually got 3 quarterbacks there that's in the 8th grade.
Let me.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so,
go ahead.
So, if you're a Bomber, DJ Irvin's about to graduate.
Right.
Okay, you was a Bomber. You was the last QB that took Midwest City to a state championship finals and won it. Why would you not send your baby boy there? Because he could be a 4-year starter. A 4-year starter.
Well, you said, here's what you said.
I'm just asking.
Okay, but wait a minute.
Andy can call me and tell me all
fine.
fine.
I told you Cash got a good arm. Cash got this year and next year.
Yeah,
but if he follows your advice and just sticks with baseball his senior year to avoid injuries,
yes, sir.
It's wide open.
Yeah. But
and
you still got
Johnson with the program.
Yeah, you still got Johnson's boy. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, they're going to battle.
They're going to battle.
And there's one more.
There's one more?
Yeah, it's another kid.
Okay. But that's what I'm just saying because I'll tell you, I tell this all the time to Coach Jones. I think Coach Jones is one QB away from being a hell of a team. One QB away. If you put Reed DeQuazy, if you put Collier, I know Collier's just an 8th grader, or you put DJ, or you put Cash on Dale City's team. Put Cash on Dale City's team.
Throwing the ball. Athletes.
Man, I'm just telling you. Coach Jones, hey, you better start building some new house out there in Dale City.
But you know what? I don't think it has, because if you think about it, the last few years, going all the way back to, what's his name? The QB, he ended up going to Kentucky, first Oregon, then went to Kentucky.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Anyway, that kid, since then, they've been sending someone D1 every year, several players.
You talking about Dale City quarterback?
Yeah.
Terry Wilson?
Terry Wilson.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, RT, you had Quinlan. I think he was undersized. Did a decent job.
He should have played DB. Quarterback, no. I'm going to tell you, and I tell his daddy that if you watching. He should have played DB. Because here's what happens. We get caught up in the whole Little League hype to where your kid was an awesome all-star playing a position at a young age.
Yes, sir.
But you got to be realistic. When you start looking at the next level and you start sizing up the quarterbacks, because the first thing these college coaches do is the eyeball test.
Yep.
They want to see how tall you are, how long your reach is, and all of the above. He was more of a DB as far as his size. And he could actually play on defense. So I felt like he was comfortable. He was really a good and above average. But when you got to go up against these other kids that the coaches really don't give you a chance unless you meet their eyeball test,
yes, sir,
you're going to set them up for failure.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying on that because, I like I said, I
Perfect
think...
example, like my youngest boy, too small to play. His mind is set on college and what he's going to do as far as how he's going to support his wife and future kids. He's not thinking about this dream because sports only take you so far.
So far. And I see that both my kids, one of my son got a job at Tinker. He's still going to finish his education. Gabe's and is going in his 3rd year at UCO, going to wrestle. Hopefully he'll start at 157. Yep. He could be the face of, UCO here the next few years.
Will.
We need to work on a deal like Rabbit just got, though. Congratulations to Rabbit for getting what's it called?
NIL.
NIL.
Hey, on the back of it says Rabbit on this deal, and I told Jessica we need to get a little cut of that because we don't want to name the Rabbit. But congratulations to that young man, a CA graduate. But I just tell you, man, you talked about Collier, but I mean he has to sit back on his couch and pop open a cold one and say, man, you know what? All three of my teams are loaded over here, you know. But like I said, Carl Albert, I think, you know, Carl Albert and Dell City is a little bit ahead of Midway City. Not knocking my Barmer, Coach Hall. I know you've done a great job, but I just think those two teams right now with the players they got and that moved in and came in is made them. I mean, I think Carl Albert went from mediocre to adding some of the kids they added to a contender, big time.
Okay, so 8 Coweta. That's our good old buddy Mason Ford.
We need to get Mason on the phone, man. We need to get Mason on the phone. What we need to do is maybe do another Zoom call, have Mason and Reed, and have them do a little smack talking.
Before week 0.
Before week 0, but I'll let you handle this.
I think Coweta should have been ranked just a tad bit higher.
Yes, sir.
And, I would put Coweta ahead of both Midwest City and Collinsville. You know, offense, I believe they got the transfer in from PC North, right? The quarterback. I believe I read that somewhere.
Oh, yeah. They did. His dad was the coach, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with the help of the QB that's transferring in, and then you got Mason and Will out there, he got several targets. And then on defense, they too have about 8 starters returning.
And that goes a long way when you got guys that, you know, that you only got to replace 3 guys, and it depends on what position they're at. But I just tell you, Coweta's one of those teams, man, you can't sleep on. I mean, Mason is going into his senior year. The guys are great. I mean, I know they got him in a Vibe magazine as a receiver, but the guys are great.
Got him as a running back.
But the guy's a great receiver, but he's also a better defensive back. You know,
Trains with Dwight Dobbins.
Yeah, Dobbins, CA. Yeah. He said it late, but what?
Got it straight.
But, I mean, I just tell you, Mason, you know, he's looking for a big year. You know, once you kind of lose that first round in the playoffs, now you get to play that team first week 1. Week 0 at your home.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you right now,
payback,
man.
Huh?
Hey, payback. Them chicken legs and barbecue burgers going to be going strong there. So,
is that game's at Coweta?
That game's at Coweta, man. You know, RT was.
Sandwich going?
Got a chicken sandwich?
You want a better chicken sandwich?
Hey, that's you.
Huh?
Yeah.
What you picking?
I think he going with Coweta.
I gotta go with Carl Albert.
Okay,
I think Carl Albert beat Coweta.
All right. What you think? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I ain't on that game.
We not done yet.
We're not done yet. Is that what Coach Don said?
That's what he says. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So going back to Coweta, like I said, they got the QB transfer, Carson, and then you got Mason and Will, and then on defense they got those 8 returning starters, Wyatt, Justin, Deacon, to name a few. And like you said, they open up against Carl Albert week 0. That should be a really good game. They saw each other in the first round of playoffs, I believe. So it'll be a rematch, and it could be a rematch and kind of a glimpse at what we may see in the playoffs this year again. You just never know. So right after Coweta, we got Ardmore. They kind of remind me of Guthrie. You can't sleep on them as well. They got one of the better quarterbacks in the state who's committed
to Illinois.
To Illinois, Cal.
I was reading this guy's stats, man. You know, Cal Swanson is. I'm gonna make him the best. Nothing to none of the 5A QBs, but I'm gonna put him as the best QB in 5A.
Okay.
He's already committed to Illinois. He threw for over 67% last year, 28 TDs.
Wow.
I tells you right now, the kid's on target. So it just tells you, man, Ardmore. You know, when you got somebody like that, man, that can throw the ball and sling the ball, hopefully he got some receivers he can throw to. Mm-hmm. But that just tells you where they're at as far as, you know, having a great QB, man. And this kid is I can't say he's a sleeper because he already got an Illinois commit. I mean, and that's big time. You know, that's a big time Power 5 program. And, you know, Illinois ain't like it's Illinois, South Illinois State or something like that. It's Illinois, you know, that plays and won the Big Ten. So that just shows you right there where this young man's at. So congratulations to him and you know, with Ardmore.
They got a nice little defense, too, because I believe their first 6 or 7 games, they held their opponents to only 94 points.
So RT, I mean, because I know a few years back, Ardmore played Carl Albert in the playoffs, or it was the state championship.
It was the state game, and it was raining. It was delayed. That game didn't finish until almost midnight.
And at that time, I remember that, but it was on a Friday night. At that time, they wasn't really throwing the ball around that much. Wasn't they kind of more of a running?
Yeah, Ardmore has always been more of a running
So that just tells you this QB moved in and they changed their offense around for him. And you're throwing for 6-7%, 28 TDs. That means you're slinging the ball around a little bit.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap things up with the top 10, you got Sapulpa. They're usually overlooked. They got plans to stand in the top 10. On their offense, they're expecting big things from Marco Smith. Last year, he was kind of overshadowed by the senior running back. And then on defense, they, too, have about 7 or 8 starters returning. You know, defense wins championships. So
all day long.
I believe those teams that got a lot of defensive starters returning, they got the most experience. They keep them in good field position to have a good game.
You know, Sapulpa was one of those teams. They were kind of 6A small. Now they dropped down to 5A. They're going to compete. You know, they're right there in the backyard. You know, right not in the mix of things of Tulsa with, you know, a Bigsby and all them. But, I mean, I think they're going to be able to compete. Are they going to make it to the playoffs? Yeah, I think they will. Do I think they got enough firepower to make it to the second or third round? Probably not. But I tell you, 5A is so loaded, man. I mean, there's teams that we didn't even talk about, but they're so loaded, man, that can go out and win ball games. But, I mean, I tell you, though, you know, from your top 5 to 6, man, anybody can win it. I mean, you know, you look at Ardmore, you look at Carl Albert, you look at Dell City, you look at Midwest City. I mean, we didn't even talked about, you know, the team that beat Carl Albert one of the years, Piedmont. You know, we didn't even talked about those guys, you know. That's not a bad team, or, you know, or Edison, you know. I mean, there's
Lawton Matt.
Is Eisenhower too.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't even talked about those guys, man. So that tells you how strong this. I'm telling you, man. When they changed, Noble. I mean, a playoff team. You know that beat. They had a big win, I think, a year ago. But I'm just saying that you're not even talking about some of these teams though, and so that's why I tell you I tell you right now, a lot of coaches pull their hair out when they drop Midwest City and Dell City down to 5A, because it's taken away from teams that was getting in.
Right.
That ain't going to get in now.
Man,
they're not going to get
imagine
in.
those first round matchups. So if McAllister and Dell City are in the same district.
Yes, sir.
So that's your 1 and 2 right there. Then coming out of the district that Carl Albert, McGinnis, and Guthrie's in, that more than likely will be your 1, 2, and 3. So those 5 schools right there. And then you'll probably have Coweta. That's 6. That right there is going to be tough.
6.
And then you throw in Ardmore.
Yeah.
7. And then not sure how Midwest City is going to do.
Midwest City going to get in because we got that Bomber Magic.
Oh, okay.
Bomber Magic.
Probably need to get them a helmet up here.
Hey, folks, edit that out. But I'm just saying, I mean, they're going to be right there in the mix.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Aller, you know, he's won 2 championships at Star Spencer and Booker T. Right?
Booker T, Star Spencer, Booker T.
Yeah, so he got championship in him. He just got to find a way, and this is DJ's last year. He want to go out with a bang.
Yeah, with a bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But I just tell you, it's going to be wide open, though. But, you know, I mean, while we're sitting here, we all got to make one pick. Who's going to say who? I mean, 5A. I mean, it's loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to start with you, E. You've been quiet over there.
We had E, 5A.
Man, it's tough.
Midwest City, Dale City, Carl Albert,
Sapulpa,
Ardmore, McGinnis, Guthrie, McAllister.
I don't know.
You'll probably lean to McAllister since the OU commit is over there, right?
I'm thinking they'll be up there. You know what? I think
y'all remember. Here we go.
I think Carl Albert gets back on a roll, and they're able to get back in their what's the word?
You tell me.
Back
to their winning. Yeah, business as usual. That's what I was looking for right there.
So you're predicting them to win their 17th state championship. Okay. What you got, Tony?
I'm gonna say. I mean, I think it comes down to a 4-man race. I think it comes down to Carl Albert, Dell City, McAllister, and I'm gonna throw Bishop McGinnis in there because with the good running back, you can control the clock. I don't know how the quarterback play is going to be, but I think Taffy is one of the best backs in state. I think Carl Albert got all the tools. Right. I know we talked about Xavier Robertson. You know, who's his backup? What happens if he gets banged up a little bit?
James.
I don't know who that young man is,
but find out.
Okay, yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm throwing some arrows out there. So I think Dale City. I think they're right there. It really depends. I mean, I think their defense is going to have to do a lot of slowing people down, shutting them out. I think they can find a QB in Day or George, I think they can do some big things. Like I said, the Tango kid, great name, and Foreman at tight end. And then, Kanajo. I mean, you got some weapons, man. I think their defense is more loaded. One thing I did say, they lost their defensive coordinator. So Coach Jones will be calling the defense, which he's done in the past few years. That's it. So he knows the X's and O's, and he's going to kind of mix it between a 3-4 and a 4-4. So I think he's going to bring pressure at you. It's his defense. He's not have to look at over somebody's shoulders and see what they're calling. He's going to be calling it. So I think if Coach McDonald can get the offense going and clicking and throw the ball at the right times, Dell City likes to smash mouth. McDonald was an offensive lineman, so most offensive lineman coaches like to do what? Run the ball.
Right.
So I think Dell City got all the pieces, but I'm just so stuck on the QB. Because I don't know if they got the right QB, as I said, if they had a Collier, just joking, but if they had a young QB or, maybe take a chance with somebody that's young, because I think Day is salty for defense. I think the George kid could be good, but it depends on what Jones is looking for. Are you looking for your quarterback to run and throw, or are you looking for somebody just to drop back and throw? That's the chance you got to take. Maybe you play them both. Maybe you have a 2 QB system. But I think Carl Albert got all the tools. I think they got a backup QB. I think they got the running back. I think they got the players. And they're still young. I mean, that offensive line is going to be loaded with, a little older Collier and then, Norman and all the other kids. I mean, they had a kid we didn't even talk about, the Star Spencer transfer in. Defensive end, linebacker. What's his name?
James Reed.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, Reed. He was sleeping on me. But I'm just saying. So they got. Man, I'm just telling you, man. I mean, just watching Don's face the other night. Just he's confident in what he got, and when a coach is confident, man, you want to pat yourself on the chest and say, "Let's get it on."
That first year he came over, and he allowed the guys to continue to do what they did without stepping on any toes.
Yes, sir.
He kind of learned everyone's coaching style, know how to speak their language. And so now he's more comfortable. It's really open to anyone in 5A. I have to always ride with my Titans. But if I had to pick the top 4 in no order, I'm definitely going with Carl Albert, McAllister, McGinnis, and Guthrie.
Ooh, you left Dell City out.
I'm sorry, Dell City. Not McGinnis, Dell City.
See, man, it's funny you said it because you threw Guthrie in there, and Guthrie's a team that, like you said,
they beat McGinnis last year.
And Ardmore, man, I tell you, when you got a quarterback like Ardmore that can sling the ball, man, I'm telling you, man, 5A is loaded, man. I'm just telling you right now, man. If you are 6A, even 6A big, man, I think, I kind of got, yelled at the other day, like, man, you ain't picking Bigsby to be the top. I don't think Bigsby got it. I mean, they got some good pieces. But when you got a kid that's a video game, a Madden or that can juke himself out of a telephone booth, you don't have that no more. You don't have that. You don't have a Presley. You do got a younger brother, but he ain't ready yet.
He's not ready. Yet.
I don't think he's ready. Maybe by mid-season, yeah. But I know you still got the twins. But I mean, Bigsby's gonna be good. But man, now every week you're going against somebody strong. Every week in 6A. Somebody strong. It ain't. No, I'm talking about 6A with Bigsby and Big 6A. Now they're going to get somebody. They're not going to get any cupcakes. They're not going to get a soft team. They're not going to get a PC West. They're going to get somebody strong.
So check this out.
Okay, talk to me.
District 3 has McAllister, Dell City, and Coweta.
That's probably the toughest district.
So you got what now?
In District 3,
you got McAllister, Dell City,
and Coweta.
So
District 2, you got Carl Albert, Guthrie, and McGinnis.
So that's 6 teams right there that's going to make the playoff. And how many teams make the playoff? 10? Because remember that, 6A small, they changed it.
I believe it's 16.
16 make it?
I believe so.
Hey, pull up that bracket real quick. He's our man that can do all the stuff real quick on that computer.
Yeah, we don't be trying to memorize it.
What's the other district?
Because
remember, they got more districts.
Oh, yeah. There's 4 districts.
So top 4 goes. So you're right. 4, 8, 12, 16.
Ardmore is in there with Midwest City and Lawton Mac.
So
in District 1.
I pick Ardmore to win that district.
And Noble.
I pick Ardmore. I think it'd be Ardmore, Midwest City, Noble.
It's Ardmore, Midwest City, And you said Noble.
Noble.
There's also El Reno in there. But what about Lawton Mack?
It'll be a dogfight between El Reno and Lawton Mack, though.
Okay. And then District 2, Carl Albert, Guthrie, and McGinnis.
Who's the other team?
And then you said, in District 3, you got McAllister, Dale City, and Coweta. And then District 4, that's Collinsville, Claremore, Edison Prep. And Bishop Kelly. That's probably
the weakest district. Collinsville will win that district. Edison Prep probably coming second.
Yeah, and then hold on real quick. I probably should have looked at this before, but we got time. Bear with us.
And what we're gonna do real quick, we gotta take a break and give it up to our sponsors. So we'll be back. What?
After one of these sponsors.
Keep it 100. What?
Oklahoma High School Sports.
Be right back.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Line-X Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. We got the proper information now. We got the bracket pulled up and everything. So
in the districts.
So go ahead, RT. Let's talk about.
So 5A District 1. You got Lawton Mack, Altus, Ardmore, Duncan, Elgin, El Reno, Midwest City, and Noble. Collectively, we were thinking that Lawton Mack, Ardmore, Noble, and Midwest City will be the top 4 teams that will make it to the playoffs. In District 2, you have Carl Albert, Piedmont, Lawton Ike, Guthrie. It was Guyman, but they went independent. So they're no longer on there. Bishop McGinnis, Shawnee, and Southeast. So coming out of District 2, definitely Carl Albert, Guthrie, Bishop McGinnis, and then more than likely it'll probably be Lawton Ike.
Lawton Ike over Piedmont?
Yeah, Lawton Ike over Piedmont.
All right.
That's my pick anyway.
All right.
Then District 3, Sapulpa, McAllister, Durant, Coweta, Dale City, Tulsa Memorial, East Central, and Glenpool. So we have Dale City, McAllister, Coweta. That fourth one will probably be Sapulpa. And then District 4, Claremore, Bishop Kelly, Collinsville, Grove, Edison Prep, Pryor, Nathan Hill, Will Rogers. And we all agree that may be the weakest district to make it to the playoffs. No disrespect, but more than likely, those are all first-round losses right there.
Yeah.
Let's keep it at 100.
I'm serious.
Yeah. I mean, somebody was going to say it.
Yeah, I mean,
it had to be said.
We're supposed to keep it 100, right?
We keep it 100 here, folks. That's what we do. We keep it 100.
But the way it's set up, seeing how I think these two are the powerhouses in Class 5A this year, they will be on the opposite side of the bracket. So it's set up for them two to meet in the championship.
And that's where you want it, though. Like you said, Andy's sitting back, looking at it all. And these coaches.
That's the question you need to ask.
What's that?
If any of the Middale schools meet in the championship,
what shirt you gonna wear?
What shirt you wearing?
He gonna get a half divided.
He gonna have a bed shirt.
Half divided, and the Midwest City on the back.
He's just gonna have a Middale shirt on.
He's gonna have a Middale shirt on. That's what
Middale City and Midwest City on the back.
Middale schools.
But that's a good.
His son is playing.
But that's son. Yeah. Is he the starting center? What's he playing? Center?
I don't know. He's on. Man.
He
should be playing more than that. That kid is quick.
He's strong too.
Yeah,
the kid is strong. We might need to have him on the show. We don't bring a lot of linemen on here.
One of the fastest linemen in the state.
And we got to probably bring him on the show. You know what I'm saying? We don't get a bunch of last linemen we had was Big Alton And, he's doing big things. He's going to start for his college there where he's at. So that's what we do, folks. I don't discriminate. I like linemen. I like QBs. I like kids that's undersized. We talked about this the other day as a team.
Right.
We're always concentrating on these 5-star, 4-star. Let's concentrate on these 1 and 2 stars because those are
no
ones,
stars.
No stars at all because those are the ones that's not getting the love. And they're out there doing the same thing every Friday night, every practice. They're banging and trying to get their name out there. Some of these kids are 4 or 5 stars and they don't do nothing when they get to college.
Man.
Don't do nothing. You hear me, Felicia? I'm just saying. They don't do anything. So why are we concentrating on these 4 and 5? So let's concentrate on these young men that's trying to go play college. It doesn't matter what school you go to, as long as you get that. You said it earlier. As long as you get that education paid for, because half of these young men ain't gonna make it to the NFL.
And sometimes that education is not at a university; it's a trade school.
Trade school. My wife said it. My wife said the same thing.
You get money like that. You start working, and you don't have to take a lot of these classes that has nothing to do with what you're going to do in your career.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not knocking school. School is great, but explore all of your options.
All of them. Yeah. But I'll tell you, man, 5A is loaded, man. Like I said, we've all kind of made our picks. I know E's over there itching to talk about Gundy and in the OU sports. What's going on with with college football right around the corner, man. And I tell you, man, that was a big drop just to hear Gundy, the deal that happened to him. We kind of spoke on it earlier. I know E's going to dive into it real quick, and we're going to talk a little bit of OU and college sports real quick. So
let's go, E.
Let's go, Big E.
So everybody by this time knows that Cale Gundy has resigned as an assistant coach at OU.
Yes, sir.
There's a player meeting or a position meeting. I guess one of his receivers he felt like he wasn't focused, so he kind of called him out. And he went and took his iPad and started reading off of it word for word. And I guess there's a certain word on there that could be offensive, and
no matter who says it.
No matter who says it.
So tell me this: do you think he was trying to embarrass the young man?
I think so. I think it was more like embarrass him in front of his peers. Get him to don't do that again.
Right. Because that happens in school.
Yeah.
Back in our days, you passing a note. Teacher would grab the note and read it all. So and so like so and so. Will you go out with me? Yes or no? You know what I mean?
Or maybe.
You know what I mean?
You got a bunch of babies, didn't you?
No, that's why you brought it up. Or nowadays with the cell phones, hey, what do you got? Give it here. And before they can lock it, oh, this is what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one of those situations. Go ahead, Tony.
No. I was gonna say I think it's a bad situation all the way around. No one wins from it, even if the student stays or goes. No one wins from it. Like I said, I had a chance to play with Kel at Midwood City. I tell you, the kid, it's so funny now because, we didn't have Twitter back then. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Snapchat. And, I mean, we had, Midwood City used to do a deal on Thursday nights. We had dinner at a senior's house. And I remember one night we had it at his house. And Kel was a, I mean, not taking that from you, Kel, because you ain't good looking like you used to be back in your day. But, Kel was, the big blue-eyed guy. He was an office aide, just a good young man, was a leader on the field. I remember we're playing PC West my junior year and I was on punt team and, we're getting beat. We're down by 2 touchdowns. And I remember, Dietrich Robinson and Jason Blassingame kind of shook me and said, man, get in the game. We're not going to lose this game. And I just remember it's like 4th and 12 and Kel was also the QB and he was a punter. And so, next thing I know, we go out there, we punt. And next thing I hear this crowd, I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Everybody just cheering. The crowd is going loud. That's when they played at PC right there on 50th and Meridian. So the crowd is going crazy. And next thing you know, Keller's running down the sideline. He gets the first down, and that clicked the team. So the guy was a leader on the field and off the field. Yeah. He never acted like he was better than nobody, even though his brother was playing at Oklahoma State at the time. The guy he grew up at Moroni. He was a hell of a basketball player. He was a hell of a baseball player. So that when you're looking at a 3-sport athlete, and at the time when he was getting recruited, he was ESPN probably top 100. He could have picked any school. I remember sitting at practice, and like it was yesterday, and this guy having all type of coaches at our practice, and and here you are as a young sophomore, junior, you're trying to show out, and one time he kind of ran the options with Drew, and I kind of hit him.
Drew Chrisman?
Yeah, Drew Chrisman.
Okay.
Big time ball player too. I would have tried to hit Gundy, and that's probably the wrong thing I should have done, because I remember old Coach Ron Smith said, "You don't hit our QB." I'm trying to show you got college coaches. Shit, I'm trying to make a name for myself too. Shit, I want to be somebody. And so I wouldn't hit him, and Gundy got up, he kind of laughed. "Oh, that's all right. We got you." So I just remember like 2 or 3 plays later, you got Heath Ernest Bernard and Heath Woods and Drew all kind of leading the way, man, and just laid my sophomore.
Yeah, Drew was
laid me out. Yeah, laid me out, man. And I remember that, like, hey, don't hit the QB.
Yeah.
So I started coaching. Don't hit the QB when I started coaching. But I'm just saying, Kel was a great athlete all around, in Middle City, at OU, and like I say, he went off to UAB and coached a little bit. He's been with a few coaches, but I just tell you, man, the guy is, he's not a racist. He's not. And I can speak up for him now. I ain't even talked to Gundy in years, but I just known him by hand. He's not a racist, and even when you play college ball and you play college football and baseball and you travel and all the teams you own, you're around different ethnics. You're not just around white guys. Right. And plus, Kellis went in different homes and had to sell people's kids to come to their school. Mm-hmm. So I can't see him going to Houston talking about, "What up, man?" Going in there talking like, some street gang or none of that stuff to get your kid to come here, because people are giving your kids to him to come to your school.
Right.
So you got to go in the street, and go in there, talk to a parent and say, "Hey, I'm going to take care of your baby for the next 4 to 5 years." And he was one of the OU's top recruits. So it's like I said, it's just a bad deal on his part. And I hope his family, his dad, Ray's a good guy. I mean, he comes from a good family. So hopefully, his brother kind of went through the same stuff with the T-shirt. So it doesn't make it better, because people start thinking outside the wall. "Oh, his brother had that shirt on, and he says whatever word." And so, put things together. And he's come out, man. I think it took a lot for the man to come out and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna step down and resign." I don't know if Venables told him to, but at the end of the day, man, it sucks for everybody. So I'm gonna let E get back to talking, but I just want to say that little part though.
Yeah. So this second statement that Brent Venables issued kind of put some, kind of cleared up some of the unknown about the situation. So I'll just read that from the OU football Twitter. This was Brent Venables' statement. It says, "Coach Gundy resigned from the program because he knows what he did was wrong. He chose to read aloud to his players, not once but multiple times, a racially charged word that is objectionable to everyone and does not reflect the attitude and values of our university or our football program. This is not acceptable, period. Coach Gundy did the right thing in resigning. He knows our goals for excellence and that coaches have special responsibilities to set an example. He also knows that while he will always be a part of the OU family, that his words affected many of us and did not represent the principles of our university. Again, his resignation was the right thing to do, and we will move forward positively."
So you talk about it. He says it multiple times. Yeah. So do you think he meant to say it then? I mean,
it will be perceived that way.
Yeah, I don't know how you can accidentally say something twice, especially like something like that.
Yeah.
When I'm around my mom and I'm singing a rap song and the F word, like F bomb drops on me, right. You kind of get that, your heart sinks into your stomach. And it's like, am I bad?
But so you kind of talk about that. So you got a lot of these rappers. Our team, we're both African American men and with African American sons, and I know they listen to a lot of rap music. Do you think it's right that these rappers say that things, because kids portray what they like to hear with their rappers saying and singing a song? So if you got some kids over the house and you got a pool party, you got things going, and Drake or I don't know.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, right from wrong. So you can watch movies all day long. They out there in war. It's a war movie. They spraying everyone, but that doesn't mean pick up a gun and go spray everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So it's the same with words, and it's all on your upbringing, and we all make mistakes. No one is perfect.
No one.
But for Brent, who's a great guy, go to him and say, "Hey, you got to resign." When he say multiple times, I think it was more than just twice. Again, don't know all the facts, but everyone knows that if it's the word that we think it is, that word has so much history, power, and trauma behind it. You want to stay clear away from it. And that's why it's important to keep those kind of things in school and teach it, And this whole reverse race theory, nah, man.
Yeah.
Don't hide the truth. Educate so that mistakes like this don't happen.
Absolutely.
And do not repeat. But again, he has a good heart. I don't think he meant anything by it. But it's hard to really give your opinion when it was multiple times.
Yeah.
It was like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Like, yeah, leave.
Yeah.
Because I think it will be a bigger deal, and I don't mean this in any kind of way, but it is what it is in life itself. In school, Tony Johnson did something one time, it's the end of the world. But someone else do something a few times, it's not the end of the world.
Might get a slap on the hand.
You see what I'm saying? So once you become an adult and you've been in the business for a while, it's easier said than done. You know what you can do and what you should not do. That's it.
I know we're talking OU sports and all that, but that kind of comes to the deal like with you said Tony does something, this other kid does, and that's why I kind of put that deal out today with politics. You guys both think politics plays a lot in high school, and it maybe even a little of college and middle school. Because the only reason I say that, I put that out because I know there's a couple young girls that went out for softball. One little girl's a stud. She's not playing. There's another girl in front of her. Maybe just good, but probably not as that. And you got some girls that made JV and some girls made varsity.
Right. And
as a parent, you scratch your head like, man, my daughter's been playing this game. And a lot of times, I do think when you put money in a program, when you're part of the touchdown club, or you're part of the home run club, or you're part of the basketball Queens club, or some kind of club, and you're putting your time and effort in, your kids will get more seen or more likes and all that because, hey, I'm doing this. What you
I think it's politics. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
You scratch my back, I scratch your back, and so I think it shouldn't be played. I think the best kid should play.
But it is politics in all parts of life, whether it's religion, it's your career, it's sports,
no, you're right.
It's school, relationships, families. You know what I mean? You got a favorite kid. You ain't supposed to have favorites.
I ain't got no favorite kid.
Z, that's your favorite.
No, everybody say Gabe Johnson.
Okay, no, it's Baby Z. But yeah, I do think there is politics, and that's what creates the environment of people looking out for what's best for their family.
Yes, sir,
that's when you get a kid that may transfer because they feel like they didn't get an equal opportunity. It's like that, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't experience it and I saw it myself firsthand. That was just unbelievable, but this is where you got to teach your child that no one's perfect, no situation is perfect.
Live and learn from it.
Change your effort.
Yes, sir.
Your work ethic will overcome any politics. You know what I mean? So someone may get a position or get handed something that maybe they didn't work hard for. Eventually that'll catch up with them. But you stay on the right path and continue to work your tail off, and eventually you'll get what you deserve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Took us to church on that one. Can I get amen?
Amen.
There you go.
But, I mean, it really, back to the Coach Gundy situation, I mean, all his former players and even some current players and members of the OU staff as well issuing their own statements and kind of taking his back. I mean, that should speak to the character that he is. You know, I mean, we say it all the time, or I don't know if it's appropriate in this situation, but to say, you know, actions speak louder than words. You know, but
no one's perfect, man. We all make mistakes. We all slip up.
So, you think he'll bounce back? You think he'll coach again? You think?
I really hope so. I really do hope so. I mean, you know,
I don't know if I could if I was him. This is all you know. That became your life.
Yeah.
He been there since 1991.
And I mean, maybe it's a you know, silver lining. I mean, maybe it was time for him to retire. Maybe it was just time for him to enjoy life and you know.
I got to ask this question because since you are the OU Homer guru, do you think Venables wanted to keep him if he could have kept him, or you think, hey, I'm gonna bring my own guy in here? Because I think Gundy is one of those guys that might have stayed on the program because he was at OU for a while. He is liked by everybody at OU, but was he really one of Venables' guys? Because you know,
I don't think so. Because you talk about, you know, he not many people from that, you know, old offensive staff left. You know, you had Simmons follow Riley, and you had, but you know,
I mean,
he didn't bring anybody. He didn't.
But DeMarco Murray, you're going to keep because
you're going to keep him. He's a former player.
He played a former player, and he also
but same
played
thing with Bill Bedenbaugh. Bill Bedenbaugh, I mean, really, he didn't have any ties to Oklahoma until he.
But he's a hell of a line coach.
He's a hell of a line coach.
But I mean, you're talking about two guys here. DeMarco Murray that played at OU, didn't play for the Dallas Cowboys, that can go in here and say, "Hey, look at me! I came from Bishop Gorman, went to OU, played 10 some plus years in the NFL, played for the American team, the Dallas Cowboys." Kids are gonna like that. They're gonna be excited. Gundy, he played at OU. Yeah. I mean, and not taking nothing from him because he's a hell of a recruit, but if you're looking at, hey, I'm fixing to go to SEC, I got to go get the best of the best kids.
I mean, no, I don't think so because you look at.
I'm just asking.
No, because Cale. You look at the guys that he was able to recruit. I mean, this was. You talk about the receivers that we have in this upcoming 23 class. He can still recruit. He's still getting top talent. He's still getting SEC guys that can play in the SEC.
But I hear what you're saying. You also had a bunch of receivers transfer out. I mean,
because they weren't recruited by Gundy. I mean, their coach wasn't Gundy. Their coach was Simmons, so they went to USC. You're talking about Mario Williams. Mario Williams wasn't recruited by Cale Gundy. He was recruited by Simmons, so he follows Simmons.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I think
got a rebuttal for everything I got to say.
Uh-oh.
Let me just say.
I think.
Watch out now.
Oh man. I think Brent appreciate Cale because he brought a lot of experience. He's been there forever.
You know who we got? Jordan Mute.
Who's that?
What was that?
Gundy.
Yeah.
Gundy would have found.
I mean, really, I think the main recruiter in that recruitment was Grinch. But and we know Grinch. He's at USC with.
They're having tryouts for walk-ons. So
they're having tryouts over there. So I don't know.
I mean, huh?
US.
No, they put it out public. Like they ain't got enough kids.
I've never seen OU put out. I mean, in my lifetime, I've never seen OU put out.
They put it out on Twitter, man. It's out
put
on
out
Twitter.
I've seen OSU do it. I've seen
they go around campus.
Do it. I've never seen. You don't see Alabama posting on Twitter.
Nah,
walk on tryout.
You don't see Georgia doing it.
You don't see Georgia. You don't.
That just tells you what he.
That just tells you where USC's at.
USC, yeah. And they moved. They're not even in the same conference no more, right?
Yeah, they're in Big Ten, which makes no sense. I could go on a whole tangent about all of that, but I'll say that.
I just tell you right now,
time.
man, he got his work cut out. He'll be fired in 3 years.
I guarantee you, Lincoln Riley's title will be offensive assistant at like under Saban or something here in the next 5 years.
There you go.
But what was that, Tony?
Oh, I was going to say, what else you got on OU?
I mean, really, that's about it. Nothing's picked up. As far as recruiting goes, there's supposed to be some commits that we're supposed to see sometime within the next couple weeks. Those kind of silent commits that nobody wants to name drop, but everybody knows who they are.
Yes, sir.
So we might be seeing those here in the next few weeks. And then, they just had fall camp. Their fall camp started Saturday, this past Friday or Saturday. So they're already in the swing of things, but I think that not a whole lot of news for OU except for the Cale Gundy situation. So,
and like I said, that's a sad situation, but I think everybody bounced back just like anything else in this world. You live and learn, and then you just keep moving forward. Something he might have to educate his kids on and his grandkids on. Racism is never going to go away. I'm not saying he's a racist or nothing like that, but it's always going to be in this world. I'm fortunate that I have biracial kids, so they see both sides of the world. My wife's Hispanic and white now, so Z is she's black, Hispanic, and white. We never taught her color, and I want to teach keep it that way because at the end of the day, man, God created us all, and at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Teach character. It learns. When I moved to Choctaw, people give me a hard time and not knocking nobody, but I wanted my kids to see culture because if you go to and I'm not being mean, I'm keeping it 100. If you go to all black school, and you've never been around a white person, it might be a culture shock when you get in the real world. So,
or vice versa.
Vice versa. So I wanted my kids to see that, and then I know my daughter Shakayla would probably tell you because she didn't want to go to Choctaw, but at the end of the day, she loved it. My boys loved it. I never take nothing from Choctaw. Going over there, granted I might give them hell about gold standard and all that stuff, but we went over there. You got to think we went over there. It wasn't that many African American kids, right. And so. I think we kind of changed that program around and people start seeing us go out there. And I think Corbin and even the coach before Corbin, Dillback, did a good job of getting African American kids come out there. But I'm gonna tell you, team, you got to keep your eye on, folks.
What's that?
Them Harrod Panthers.
Yeah,
man.
Coach Blink is doing big things out there. And we're going to have him on. I think, like I said earlier, I think me and he's going to do their media
day. Going to go out there to their media
hope
day
RT can join us. But I think, we'll go out there and talk to some of their players. I think they got a good quarterback that can sling the ball. That hype video got me wanting to get out of retirement at 50 years old.
Man, that was a nice video. I got to see who that who it is over there.
I talked to Sean, the guy that kind of runs the stuff over there, their football program. I talked to him about an hour a day, and we just chopped it up about football, man. And he's on the touchdown club, and he's
the guy who does the video.
No, he says one of their guys, and the guy did a great job. I'm just telling you, man, it stood out.
I know the guy who did it last year, but I don't know if it's the same.
I don't know if it's the same guy.
One guy, is
Brandon
Keon still going to do Choctaw?
Keon is not going to be doing Choctaw.
I
think he's going to still do Westmore, and I think he's looking at another private school, maybe Heritage Hall.
So Choctaw's looking for a video guy, RT. If you,
I think they got that one. I think they got.
Keon is really good at what he does.
He is
absolutely. If he's not out there,
yeah,
I tell you, follow that.
But I think still got his own video guy though.
Oh, does he?
That does his own video.
Oh, real quick.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. That Limitless Exposure guy. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
but I don't know his name, but I know his company.
Going back to what you were saying about you want your child to go to a more diverse school so that when they get into the world careers or whatever, they'll know how to kind of interact, engage, and partner and build those relationships. I wasn't going to say anything, but I seen it on Twitter, and I think it needs more exposure. And I know we talk about Dunn and Rose and Corley and everyone, but one of many of the coaches at Carl Albert, also shout out to Coach Farley, Coach Couch.
Coach Couch, yeah.
He one coach that was there for many years is Coach Rollins. Everyone loved Coach Rollins.
Everybody loved him.
In my opinion, he's the new and improved Coach Rollins because he holds everyone accountable.
Yes, sir.
But the guy coaches track, basketball, football, summer workouts. But one thing that he does that touched my heart, man, and touched these kids' heart, for 6 years, the kids that may be too busy or can't afford a haircut, he learned how to cut hair.
I saw that on Twitter.
And he's cutting these kids' hair.
Big time.
It's not even about getting your hair cut. It's the conversation that he has with you and the love that he instills in you. It's amazing. So when a lot of these head coaches or assistant head coaches get a lot of attention, we got to look out for everyone. And going back to what we were saying about diverse, he touches all of those kids' hearts.
Yes, sir.
He holds them accountable. And after he's done holding them accountable, he put his arm around them, tell them how much he cares. But to be able to sit down, get a fresh cut for school, man, that confidence right there to go into school like.
Hey, Cam is 100, folks, and like I said, I saw that on Twitter too. I got a chance to see him the other day, man, and
good story.
The guy works his butt off, man. He's working the gym the other day, and it was hot. We had some old people there complaining. You don't want, even though I'm a Middale guy. I sent a text out to Andy and said, "Hey, man, got some people there complaining. Some older people was in there. RT came to the game, and it was hot in there. It was
a little warm. It wasn't too hot.
Maybe it was only 9 o'clock in the morning.
But he showed up with like three or four huge fans.
And they ended up moving the game. And that's the thing about Cam, though. He didn't complain. I mean, he was like, man, hey, it's hot, but hey, we're still going to continue. And his staff that was working with him didn't complain. That was more an older lady was complaining to him and to the rep, and so he kind of took matters in his hand, and I think called
Andy. He did the best that he could,
and got things moved around. But you know what I'm saying. You talk about these coaches. I mean, they are our guidance when we're not around our kids. They're the one that takes them to the games, watch them at school, watch them at after school, whatever. When I picked up my daughter today, her first day of middle school at Carl Albert, and she gets in the car and she says, "Dad, it was fun." And it made me feel bad because all day I was nervous. Like, man, my baby girl, because you're at Soldier Creek, but now you got Soldier Creek, you got Barge, you got Swartz. So you got all these kids in there. And so sometimes they can be a culture shock to a kid because you got a bunch of different kids coming in. And Zoe has a great big heart. So I know she's going to get along with everybody. But at the end of the day, as a parent, You know, you got to think. I mean, I got grown kids. I mean, my oldest is 24. She's graduating her. She started teaching, her and her husband. So, you know, I got a 24-year-old. So you go from a 24-year-old to an 11-year-old, and I've done this already. But at the end of the day, this is my baby. This is the one, like, you put your arms around, you hug. If, you know, if it storms or anything goes wrong, she falls down, you pick her up.
Right.
You know, I mean, other kids, I might say, get your butt up, let's go. You know, I've gotten softer. But I tell you, though, man, you know, I give Carl Albert hell. You know, Amy Russell's back over at Midwest City as a counselor, and I sent her a deal on Facebook, and I said, "You back home, wearing that black and gold." You know, even though her kid goes to Carl Albert, but you know, I mean, that's the thing about it, man. We got some good people in the Mid-Dale, you know, all the way around, man. We got great teachers, great principals. Mr. Sutton, a guy I've known when I got done playing college ball, and I was custodian over Delcrest that took care of me. He's my daughter's principal, and my nickname used to be Crash. When I worked for the oil company, I crashed the car. And so today, like I said, I haven't done this RT do the pickup in a long time. At Soldier Creek, you had a number, so they called your kid out. Or here, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. I mean, I'm stuck in.
It's a line. They got their part.
And everybody's parking and looking at me like, who's this guy? Does he think he's somebody special? Yeah, well, I'm keeping 100. No, but I'm sitting there, and then Coach Sutton comes. I mean, Principal Sutton comes out, and he says, "Hey, sir, you can't park there." And I said, "Hey, sir, I really don't know what I'm doing." He said, "I said, it's my first day." And he looks and he said, "Tony Johnson?" I said, "Mr. Sutton?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, mama." He said, "Yeah, I see you, baby girl. I saw your wife the other night in orientation." But it was just good that
that's cool.
That he came out, man, you know, and I mean, and recognized me, recognized my wife, and then, you know, my daughter. So I know she's in good hands over at Carl Albert.
Yep.
Miss Anderson's a great principal. I love Miss Anderson. Yep. You know, I think she's one of the best principals around. So shout out to, you ain't gonna hear me say this much. I'm still picking Dale City Win State Championship, but shout out to Carl Albert. And that's what we do over here at Keep It What?
100.
Oklahoma what?
High school sports.
We'll see you next time.
See
ya.